Play the game.
Coming at you live in the heart of Lincoln, America.
I said, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
On air and online at theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Jake Bakoven and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
This is the Ticket Water Cooler. We're happy to be back with you here on a Thursday. It seems like the week's kind of flying by. We're getting close to kickoff, senior day for Nebraska and Wisconsin. Got some updates on that game today from Mickey. Most importantly, that Casey Thompson looks like he's going to start. He's on track to start on Saturday. Threw the ball well once again today. And boy, does that make a difference for the lead up to the Wisconsin game. I feel like there's a puncher's chance now. And I think that's kind of what was missing for the Michigan game. But, of course, that makes it quite interesting to see how they adjust play calling. I mean, how are they going to protect Casey, take extra steps to protect Casey now that they've seen the drop-off when he's not in the game compared to when he is? I don't know if you're going to see a designed run. I mean, it'd definitely be a surprise.
No, there are going to be zero quarterback runs in Casey's immediate future. And as much as it might pain people to see, I don't believe there's going to be a lot of, like, there's still going to be deep passes, but nothing that's going to require him to hold onto the ball for an extended period of time. Just because, with the offensive line the way that it is, and with Casey's injury the way that it is, and the drop off from quarterback 1 to quarterbacks 2 and 3 and possibly 4, you don't want to risk, him getting hit again and having to be on the sideline for an extended period of time. So I'm expecting some shorter passes, and maybe if they can get some deeper passes going, just some quick hitters where if it's one-on-one coverage, if they see that immediately coming out of the huddle or after they're lining up, maybe you try and if Trey Palmer or somebody can beat their man off the line, you launch it down, let them run under it. But if it's anything where Casey has to take a 5-step drop and hold on to the ball for an extended period of time to let a play develop, I don't know about that one.
It certainly adds intrigue to just every series, every play that Nebraska is going to have, of course, if you're a Nebraska fan. And for Wisconsin, it makes it a little bit more interesting, too, because I think the line has dropped a little bit as it seems to be more of a possibility that Casey Thompson was going to start. I think it started like 13 or something. It's down to about 10. And I think that, Wisconsin's still fighting for a bowl game. You got to remember that. Nebraska fighting on senior day, Wisconsin fighting for a bowl game. The other thing that's kind of been apparent this week is Mickey Joseph said that they have 2012 is a very kind of common theme they're using to motivate this team, because that's the last time Nebraska has beaten Wisconsin. And you think, again,
it was when I graduated. That's the year I graduated high school.
Yeah, it's a long time ago. And it's a thing, too, where it's like, I don't know if you came into the season and said, would you rather make a bowl game or beat Wisconsin and Iowa? I might choose Wisconsin and Iowa just to get that ugly. Now it's hard to. You'd have to within your answer, obviously know that you're going to lose to like Georgia Southern and some of these losses. Like I'd like to go to a bowl game. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. So if they would have beat Georgia Southern, they'd be at 4 wins, 5-6 with Wisconsin, Iowa. So they could still lose to Northwestern and Illinois and Purdue.
Yeah. I mean, it's not ideal. Obviously, your ideal choice is for them to go to undefeated and beat everybody. But I'm just saying, I think that's a huge hurdle that Nebraska, it's just like this every year, every victory that stacks on top of those streaks. It's just, it makes you feel less and less, powerful as a Husker fan, even though we've got this powerful fan base that has been, thankful to AD Trev Alberts kind of last night and over the last couple of weeks, kind of putting it on blast and let people know, this is a great fan base. And that's what he's hearing. If you heard his radio appearance last night, kind of from all the coaches he's talking about, it's how great that fan base is. And it is. And I'm glad that they embrace that. I don't think they've always done that at Nebraska to the level that they need to. And now that they really don't have a whole lot else to prompt up for Nebraska, it's cool that the fan base is getting that credit. But it's amazing to me to think at one time, because I was thinking too with Des Moines Adams was in studio with the captain here this past couple segments, and if you grew up watching Des Moines Adams, or if you remember watching Des Moines Adams and those, just that rush end group, whether it was the Kelseys or Mike Rucker and Vanden Bosch, obviously Grant Wisdom and Jason Peter, not a rush end, but a defensive line. I mean, it was just like pros and all Big 10 or Big 12 and just guys.
A lot of stuff to hang your hat on.
Yeah. And I remember in that era, just kind of post with Des Moines Adams graduated in 2002, the Callahan years into the Boak years, it was kind of like, well, what's missing? What's the difference between those teams and that team? And now just kind of thinking about that talent that I just kind of named out there, to go all this time later, what's missing is I mean, there's more things missing compared to the look of those, early 2000s, late 90s Nebraska football teams than there's anything that resembles what it was. I mean, because, you could talk about playing crowd noise at practice or, all these different buttons that Mickey's tried to press. But when he says they need recruits, that's what he's talking about. You remember, you can't fake having that type of roster. And so sometimes I hear those guys come back and talk about, player accountability and stuff that, all that stuff definitely propelled those guys and made them better. But you can't fake that atmosphere. You can't just, like I said, push some buttons and play some different music and do all this stuff. And then all of a sudden you've got a rush end room with 4 future pros and 2 guys that are young, just breaking in. And I mean, it's just amazing to think about the culture that was there at the time. And now the culture that you kind of see it in Ohio State, where it's just like, man, if you were recruited here, you're one of the top in the nation. Like, people around the nation just know that you're walking into a dogfight just to get any playing time.
Like, it's when you're going to an Ohio State or an Alabama or a Georgia now, it's the same as when you were going to Nebraska in the 90s. It's, you were a big deal in high school, but pretty much, unless you are some type of generational talent, despite being the best player at whatever position you play, you are sitting for a year, maybe 2, because of the talented rosters that have been put together and the talent in whatever room you're entering at those universities, because of the hard work that's been put in from the teams past. Not just the hard work that the current team is putting in, but the work that was instilled upon them from the teams before them and the teams before them and the coaches who have been there, seen that, done that, and know exactly what it takes to win those games and to get yourself to the pinnacle of college football. And Nebraska's just been missing that the last few years. And although it's going to be hard to find anybody available that's been to the pinnacle of college football, as a head coach, as an assistant, whatever have you, and Mickey has been there. He was there with LSU, but just to get that on the coaching staff, get that on the roster, and build towards that. It's not really like you said, you can't fake it. It's not a fake it till you make it type thing, but at the same time, it's you have to keep plugging away with people with players and coaches who want to be better, who want to get to that point. And then you'll eventually see that breakthrough, hopefully, that's been missing with Nebraska.
Yeah, and it's crazy too, because I think to that recruiting talk that some people will think, well, does that rub the players in the locker room the wrong way when Mickey says, what do we need to do? Go out there and recruit. Well, if you're looking at it as compared to, like, I guess the teams in the last couple of years, or, some of their Big Ten West opponents that don't necessarily put a lot of people in the league, then maybe you could take offense to it. But if you're talking about what Mickey Joseph's been a part of, which is a championship team, I mean, you shouldn't take offense to that. Your team's not at that level. And I mean,
it's not like they're not recruiting year in and year out. It's not like they're it's just, he's just putting words out into the universe saying, like, look, we're going to recruit regardless, but in order to make this team better, we have to get better players in here. And the players understand that. They know that they're not playing up to the level that, is going to get them wins, because they haven't been getting wins. And they know that, if they're not doing it, maybe there's somebody else that can come in and take their job and do it, which should just motivate them to work harder. Which, I mean, that might be the goal of Mickey. I mean, that's the goal of every coach, is to bring in somebody who's going to push the people in front of them, or eventually supplant that person, which, again, will make the person in front of them work even harder and get better, which will then lead to wins.
Yeah, and two, it's not like an individual shot when he says he wants, needs to get better at recruiting. If you're, Trey Palmer, like I'm pretty darn good. Like if you're a starter, even that you're like, okay, I could be. I don't if I'm like one of the weaker starters, I'm good enough to be on the 2 deep on a pretty darn good team. It's just it's overall talent. It's not a specific shot at a certain player or anything. So
it's just everybody.
Yeah. Which is, you also got to be able. I mean, this is college football. It's big business, and of course, college football players are starting to be able to get in on that piece of the pie, which thank God. But it's been
a lot of money.
Well, it's been a big business for a long time, so it's not. You don't have to dance around people's feelings and make sure everybody gets equal playing time or anything. Though I suppose Mario Cristobal's dealing with a little bit of that as of late.
Yeah, I guess players' parents are taking shots at the coaches for Miami on the internet and whatever. And Mario Cristobal said, "Look, if you're a parent of a player, you're more than welcome to come down here and take your player out of the program if you want. Like, if you're upset with the playing time they're getting, come on, get them."
Which is just
that's
sad.
So weird.
Yeah. Well, and I think he's trying to probably let them know how, because obviously you're not going to do that. It'd be humiliating to your player.
A parent might try.
Yeah, I shouldn't underestimate some of those parents because they're absolutely crazy. But
living vicariously through your son.
Yeah. But I kind of like him calling that out. It's like, all right, enough of the talk on here and there. We're playing the guys that we feel earn the playing time. And not, I'm not close to the Miami situation. I don't know if there are, we've had certain frustrations, I suppose, with certain guys not getting playing time as fan bases, not even as parents in the last couple of years. So it might be one of those situations. But man, is it interesting to just kind of see how all this stuff is breaking down. And then the more interesting thing to me too, with Casey Thompson being available, is like it I don't want to say this in the I don't want to say this in a negative way, but it just being flat out honest with you, I think there's a chance they win. Without Casey Thompson, I'm sorry, I just don't see it. The offense is just not going to score enough against a really good Wisconsin defense.
It's non-existent without Casey Thompson,
right?
Unfortunately,
with Casey in there, it just brings back the possibility that they can win. And if they do, then what? And maybe you want to wait to kind of break that down if it happens. But now that I see it as a possibility, it's like, okay, that'd be a big victory for Mickey. And it's not just then what is he Nebraska's front runner. I got to believe he's back into the discussions at, other places. And certainly his profile raises in the coaching community. So, this is the whole idea of, let's have our cake and eat it too. We'll just grab somebody, then Mickey will be on staff. And Mickey said he'll be open to that, but he's going to get some offers this year. And if they start to, if they get some wins down the stretch, there might be some head coaching offers.
Mickey's going to have a lot of money thrown his way.
Yeah.
Whether it be from Nebraska or whether it be from somewhere else. So,
yeah. And I that's what I've said before too, is Mickey is a rising star in his own. He doesn't need Nebraska to do that. LSU, probably at this point is an even bigger example of why he's a rising star than even Nebraska. But there is also the possibility, he is an alumni. I know that he wants to make it work out here. But I just find it hard if he's not the head coach to believe you're going to just keep him on staff for 10 years. I mean, maybe that's what he wants. Maybe it happens that way. Maybe. But I think there is a possibility that down the line he's going to keep moving up, and maybe that winds its way back at Nebraska at some point.
For somebody as talented and respected as Mickey Joseph, to think that you're going to be able to keep him on as a wide receivers coach or assistant, whatever, for an extended period of time, it just seems a little crazy.
But it would be great to have him for as long as he can keep him.
Oh,
if
yes.
you can give him for 2-3 years, that'll be definitely.
I mean, if you could get him to stay for 10 years and he's not the head coach, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, you had Turner Gill. And
I don't know how many times you're back in the Brinks truck on his front lawn, but keep doing it.
I have to do that too. Let's take a break. When we come back, I believe tonight is pretty much tip off to Husker basketball. I know that they've already played some games, but a legitimate opponent tonight.
This is the one.
We'll break it down. Nebraska, St. John's coming up tonight for Nebraska basketball. We'll break that down coming up next year on the Ticket Water Cooler, 93.7 The Ticket.
Life-changing research doesn't take an outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key role. Solarion, one of the world's leading clinical research organizations, needs healthy adults who are 19 years old and older for a research opportunity. If you qualify, you can earn up to $500 a day for time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
Join DP and Jay Foreman for Old School Thursday from at the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus. The guys will be broadcasting from the Barred Owl Patio Bar on the top floor. Come see the best views in town with great drinks on Thursday from the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus.
College football in Lincoln, America. The time has come. Start your game day off right with the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the ticket crew live from Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket as they bring you all the coverage you need to get you ready for the action. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Brought to you by A1 Automotive, Mullen Motors, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Bauer Underground, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group, and Ritchie Brothers.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
Holiday wishes really do come true. Through January 4th, 2023, when you enter any non-winning Nebraska lottery, $1 Holiday Wishes 2X, $5 Holiday Wishes 10X, or $10 Holiday Wishes 20X scratch ticket, you have a chance to win $1,000, $5,000, or $10,000. There are 2 drawings for winners, so visit your nearest Nebraska lottery retailer today, buy some tickets, and enter our Holiday Wishes Second Chance promotion. Top prize odds vary by game.
So when do you think you'll be done with our kitchen renovation?
Well, ma'am, the Italian marble countertops will take a while to get in.
No problem. In the meantime, you can start on the spiral staircase.
What?
If you win Mega Millions from the Nebraska Lottery with a jackpot that starts in the millions in drawings Tuesdays and Fridays, you can afford to go a little mega.
So you want us to build a spiral staircase?
Well, how else are we supposed to get up to the helipad? Oh, good. My husband's home.
Top prize odds 1 in 302 million.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built upon hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with room for advancement.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Cloudy skies this morning should give way to partly cloudy skies by this afternoon before, but temperatures could fall this afternoon with northwest winds gusting over 25. Tonight, clearing and cold with a low down to 10, a high tomorrow of only around 25. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Life is too short to constantly be in pain and do nothing about it. Why not get a massage to ease your body pains away? The Body Shop in Lincoln is your place for all types of massages. Deep tissue, hydrating, sport, Swedish, hot stone, aroma, and more. Interested in a couples massage? The Body Shop offers those too in 1 hour or 90-minute increments. Book your appointment today or get ahead on gift giving with a gift certificate at thebodyshoplincoln.com. The Body Shop at 48th and A.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batsterats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
Hey, Steve. Welcome to Great Clips. Great Clips asks, what's the difference between good and great?
Come on back and have a seat.
Good asks you what haircut you'd like.
I have all your details from last time. Would you like the same haircut today?
Great already knows. With Clip Notes, we save your haircut details so you can get the same thing as last time, every time. Download our online check-in app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Don't let high interest rates get you down. Acres has you covered. For a limited time, Acres, the nation's largest combine dealer, is giving you 2% fixed rate financing for 60 months on select used combines. With this incredible offer, you could save thousands. Visit your local Acres location or acres.com to check out the widest selection of low-hour, late-model combines available. Don't wait. The great deal runs out at the end of November. Subject to finance approval. Some restrictions apply. Offer ends November 30th, 2022.
We stand on the shoulders of women who came before us.
Women who fought for their own financial futures.
And now it's our turn.
Join us. Visit WeSaySaveIt.org and take control of your financial future by saving for retirement.
A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler. Brought to you by Wingstop on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is a great day in Husker Nation because it is the beginning of Nebraska basketball season. Though they are 2-0, so they have already began, and I've already been to a game or two. But this is the first legitimate competition I think they've seen, though Maine might want to argue that. Maine has already had a pretty good victory. But, of course, Nebraska already opening victories with Maine in Omaha. Tonight, they take on St. John's, and you can watch the game. I think it starts at 5:30 on FS1. It is the Gavitt tip-off games where the Big Ten collides with the Big East. And I'm really looking forward to this because it's hard to really wrap your mind around how good this Nebraska team has looked. I've had a few different people kind of ask me and try to project the team forward. I still think altogether, if Nebraska can get 14, 15 wins, I think that'd be a heck of a start for basically plan B under Coach Hoiberg, and see how this kind of gets going here. But they've got a chance. These are the type of games, the St. John's, and I know we don't expect Nebraska to be in that place. But as we go on throughout the season, these are the type of quality victories that maybe can show up on some of those resumes down the line. It's not going to be easy. St. John's is 3-0, led by Mike Anderson, of course, a former Missouri coach from Nebraska's days in the Big 12, more recently at Arkansas, now at St. John's and Nebraska. We'll see if they have Derek Walker available. I still think you're not going to get a complete look at Nebraska without Derek Walker, but yeah, I mean, why do you doubt it?
I don't know. I just don't feel like you're going to see Derek Walker. I don't think you're going to see Derek Walker until December.
Huh.
Maybe he comes back against Creighton. Maybe he comes back against Indiana. I don't think he plays in any of these November games. I have absolutely no reason to believe that. And I could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
I just feel like whatever's going on, there's been like no talk of anything improving.
Yeah.
Or getting better, or him getting closer to getting on the court. So I don't know. I just feel like November just seems like a month in which you will not see Derek Walker. But the Big Ten doing really well so far early in the season. Only 2 teams have losses. Michigan State has a loss to Gonzaga.
Yeah,
and
they almost won that game.
And Minnesota has a loss to DePaul.
Not as good. But
Not as good. But those are the only. Other than that, you've got 4-0, a bunch of 3-0, and then Indiana and Nebraska at 2-0.
There you go. Did you see Gonzaga lost last?
Yeah, they lost to Texas.
That's great. Not necessarily because we like Texas, but because we don't have to go through the whole year hearing if this is the greatest team of all time, like we do every year with Gonzaga if they don't get beat early.
Hooray, they have a loss.
Thank God they have a loss. And Drew Timme is back for Gonzaga. If you don't remember, he is probably the most college basketball player.
The most
of all.
He is. Drew Timme is college basketball.
He's college basketball personified.
Yep.
But thankfully, they've already lost a game there. The St. John's team, I'm excited to see Mike Anderson again. I didn't realize this till I was doing research, that he's the uncle of Damari Carroll. You remember Damari Carroll?
I do remember Damari Carroll.
He's the uncle, and I think he coached him when he was at Missouri. If you remember, Mike Anderson led Missouri to an Elite 8 appearance in 2008. That was kind of the pinnacle of his career. Since then, he took the Arkansas job. It's been about 8 years there. They just kind of got, they're like, whatever. Let's move on. So they just kind of got tired of him, and now he is at St. John's. He's been there for 3 years. They've not had, too much success there as far as getting to the big dance, but they are a pace of play team. They average 90 points per game. It is It's the same Mike Anderson that you remember, if you do remember, at Missouri.
Go fast.
And that's something that Nebraska up until recently has done quite a bit too. And that was kind of the goal under Coach Hoiberg. That's got to be. I think that's less so this year.
They've slowed it down this year. They're focusing more on defense. So this is going to be a great, not only early test because it's a power 6, 7, however many power conferences there are in college basketball. Yeah, a power conference opponent, but because it'll be a really good test of their defensive prowess. If they're really focused that much on defense, if they've really made defense an emphasis this year for this Nebraska men's basketball team, then this team that likes to run, likes to get out, likes to score points is going to be a great early test to see exactly what you have good going for you on the defensive side and the things that you might need to work on. And I mean, obviously it's going to be a good test offensively.
Yeah,
but I'm more focused on the defensive side of things, since that was an emphasis that Fred Hoiberg said that they put on the players this offseason is the defensive side of the ball. He made some defensive coach hires, and they're a long athletic team who should be pretty good on the defensive side. And again, we're going to see it tonight at 5:30 on FS1.
And a familiar face over there. They've got a few good players, but Andre Cabello, transfer from Illinois.
That guy.
Yeah, 2 years ago, he was the Big Ten Sixth Man of the Year. He basically came in for Ayo DeSumo for a few, I think for a few games, and then, as his backup, and he was spectacular 2 years ago. Last year, he didn't live up to the hype. He almost kind of, the times that he was in the game, Illinois was doing worse. So it's just kind of very strange.
I think he got
for a new home.
Teed up in Lincoln when he was on the bench.
In street clothes.
Yeah, he wasn't playing. Yeah. He got teed up.
Yeah, he almost got teed up twice. He's an interesting vocal
He likes
player.
to talk.
Yeah. And he can, if he gets on a run, he can take over a game, but he can also just kind of shoot his way out of a game if St. John's allows him to do that. He only averages about 10 points, leads them with about 6 assists per game. They've got another transfer, speaking of DePaul, coming over from DePaul, averaged 14.5 there, 18.7 points per game now so far for David Jones. In this game, another name to watch out for, Posh Alexander, probably the best returning player. Cabello and Jones might be better, but as transfers, Posh Alexander, all Big Ten all Big East honorable mention. So those are a few of the names to look out for. But, again, St. John's probably not, it's not an overwhelming test on a team that annually goes to the big dance, but it could be a nice little resume win for Nebraska and a way to really kind of jumpstart your season and feel pretty good about yourself, because after, St. John's is just one of many very difficult games they've got coming up on the schedule. They scheduled Maine and Omaha, and that was about it. I mean, they, like I said, Arkansas Pine Bluff, as far as the games you just expected to win, because here until December, they've got, they've got a tournament filled with good teams. They've got Oklahoma, they got Seton Hall, perhaps, or Memphis and Boston College coming up. So it's no longer just, well, they got Queen's University down the line, but
somewhere.
Not too many of those teams.
Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Queen's University, some schools like that. But after those couple of schools, you're gonna get right into the thick of it.
Which is interesting, because this too, I don't know how much further they could have changed the schedule. I wonder how much they wanted to test this team. This seems like the situation calls more for a nice light Doc Sadler non-conference, and then get into conference play. But they did not do that.
Get used to playing with each other and get some synergy going. But they Maine, Omaha, pretty solid team, and then you go out to New York and play St. John's, who traditionally is a pretty good basketball program. Then you get Arkansas Pine Bluff, Oklahoma, and then you have the Boston College. There's a tournament somewhere in there, I believe, or is that afterwards? And then you go to and then you go to Creighton, who is a top 10 team in the nation.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an every year thing, but your non-con schedule is not going to do you any favors in terms of getting this roster of transfers to gel and getting them all on the same page. And oh, by the way, your starting center, power forward, wherever they were going to throw him, isn't playing the first few games.
Yeah, we'll see.
Just throw another curveball in there. Let's see what happens.
There's a lot of curveballs, but if Nebraska can get a win tonight, then I think we could really start to get excited about this team. A couple news and notes before that. Snow football. Did you watch any of this Western Michigan?
I watched highlights. I didn't watch the game.
Yeah, a lot of snow. And
Dashing through the snow.
Dashing through the snow is even a call by one of the commentators.
Great call.
And now there's expected to be 6 foot of snow, possibly for the Cleveland Buffalo game, which is in Buffalo. So
both running backs for both the starting running back for both teams under 6 foot.
they might be buried.
Perfect.
So that will be fun. That will be an NFL game of note. I love snow football. I know the players probably don't, but
it's fun. It's great to watch.
Yeah. It's perfect. And then a couple other news and notes here. Iowa State and Iowa and football here. Their series is now insured through 2027, the Cy-Hawk Trophy.
Hooray!
I'm excited about it. I love that rivalry. I know some fans on the Iowa
Don't
side
care.
apparently they specifically want to get out of it so that they can play other non-conference games because that's their big matchup every year. You're not going to schedule 2 Power 5 teams outside. So
I mean, you could.
It'd just be kind of testing you a little bit. But I love the Cy-Hawk series, so I'm glad that that's going. Also, sad news: Illinois coach Brett Bielema's mother passed away today.
Oh,
so,
no.
Kind of difficult deal there, but hopefully
Sending good vibes out to Brett.
Yeah, and hopefully he's able to. They've got a big game here, so that's always pretty difficult to balance things out there. And then one other news and note from Nebraska, Mickey Joseph, is that they practice outside both Tuesday and Wednesday in preparation for the cold this weekend.
Not a fan.
I like them doing.
No, that's a great. That's a great idea to get yourself ready for that. But me as myself, not
personally,
a fan. Yeah.
Are you going to consider going to the game, or is it too cold?
No, I'm not going
it's
to
just
the game.
Too cold.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to the game. I have to. We're doing pregame already outside, so that'll be my experience with the cold. And then I'm gonna go home, get inside, and warm up, or try to. Hopefully, my fingers don't fall off.
Not a bad idea. Hopefully, and I think they've got a few more tickets to sell for the sellout. Trev didn't seem overly worried about it, so I think you'll see the last sellout for the year extend the streak into next season. But it'll be interesting to see how many people are actually in the seats because it might be a frigid day. But anyway, that'll be for Saturday. Once again, Casey Thompson looked like he's prepared to start for that, so you can be excited for this game.
All right.
All right, that'll do it for the Ticket Water Cooler Happy Hour. Coming up next year, right here on 93.7 The Ticket.